appreciate your patience. You know that these scenes are always a little bit hectic, a little chaotic in terms of having to get all the information. And the first thing I want to say is that this neighborhood is safe, the scene is secure, and then we move into an investigative phase. I'm going to give you an overview of what occurred. This morning I have the Assistant City Manager with me, Ray Ariano, and Louis from the Police Monitor's offices here, the District Attorney's offices here, as they always are, to help us work on this investigation. This morning at about 4:05 in the morning, a subject called 911 stating that he was at Oldham Elementary, located at 1010 Turtle Creek Boulevard, right behind us. He said he had a gun and machete and was waiting for officers. At 4:09 a.m., patrol responded and immediately set up a perimeter to contain the subject. As you can see around you, this is a neighborhood that's got a lot of apartments, a lot of residents, and so one of the things that the patrol officer wanted to do was absolutely set up a containment to keep people in the neighborhood safe. Shortly after patrol assets got here, SWAT was called out at approximately 4:45 in the morning. SWAT got called out at 4:15 in the morning. SWAT got called out. At 5 a.m. SWAT arrived on scene, and at 5:01 a.m. a reverse 911 was activated for a half-mile radius, telling residents to shelter in place to make sure that they knew that there was a dangerous situation in the area and to shelter in place. That went out to about 1,500 homes in the neighborhood. At 5:27 a.m., Air 1 arrived on scene and started monitoring the subject's movements here on the ground. It's important to note that we're very fortunate that a negotiator arrived on scene very shortly into this, very quickly into this event, and started communicating with the subject on his cell phone. The subject started walking around, jumped the fence, walking northbound Cougar with SWAT following him in the Bearcat. This was about 5:53 a.m. Close to 5:59 a.m., the subject was speaking with the hostage negotiator when he told the hostage negotiator, "Watch this." The hostage negotiator asked him, "Watch what?" In a matter of seconds, he was able to hear shots fired, he being the subject negotiator, and that was at about 5:59 a.m. And the subject holding what appears to be a cell phone in his left hand and talking to the hostage negotiator, and what we believe to be a machete that was held hidden up the arm with a handle, dark handle in his hand, started raising it as the Bearcat with the SWAT team and the REACT team was approaching the subject to attempt to continue to contain and maintain visual on the subject. That's when the subject said, "Watch this," to the hostage negotiator, and started raising his right arm. One of the officers on the REACT team fired one round, striking the subject in the abdomen, and he immediately went down. This is captured on video, but it is the forward infrared video from the police helicopter from Air 1. Once the subject went down, he was taken into custody about 6:03 a.m. and the TAC medics from the Travis County EMS immediately started rendering aid. I can tell you that the subject is in stable condition. He's undergone surgery, and he is in fact in stable condition at the hospital. The subject's a male Hispanic of 19 years of age. In our preliminary conversations with his family, he is a little distraught over a recent breakup with the girlfriend, and according to them, he goes through these episodes of depression when he has emotional issues come up in his life. That was not known to us at that time, but it's preliminary us we're starting to uncover. The officer is a 15-year member of the department, almost 16 years on the department. He will be placed on administrative leave with pay, consistent with our protocols, and moving forward we will conduct a joint investigation with the District Attorney's Office in terms of the criminal piece to ensure that the criminal elements required, and the elements of the Penal Code of the Constitution required to use deadly force have been met here, and we determine the lawfulness of the shooting. We will conduct an investigation administratively with the Internal Affairs Division under the auspices, obviously, of the Office of Police Monitor that again, always follows his shooting investigations, any of our internal investigations, step by step, at every step of the way. And so with that, that's all we have for now. Again, the officer's okay, the neighborhood's okay. 1,500 folks were called and sheltered in place early this morning, and I'm just grateful that the subject appears to be stable and there's no loss of life in this very volatile situation. So with that, I'll open up to any questions.
Do you have the suspect's name and charges?
We do have the suspect's names. We will go ahead and release the suspect's name later on this afternoon, and we'll just release it in the statement. You can expect it hopefully by about 3 o'clock. And the officer's name, we should be able to release it later on this afternoon once he's had time to, again, on these very challenging times in the history of our nation when people are just so vile on social media. So many things happen with the anti-police sentiment in the minds of a lot of folks. We have to give our officers time to ensure that they have a security plan in place for their families, a safety plan in place for their families, to ensure not just their immediate family, but their extended family have had an opportunity to tighten their social media security measures and the settings. And in some cases, a lot of the officers just shut down the social media because we've had instances where officers and their families are pretty viciously attacked, regardless of the circumstances or how legitimate the shooting is on social media. So you should have that up in place later on this afternoon, and we hope to release the name of the officer, again, who is almost a 20-year veteran of the police department. He is a white male, and again, we should have both the suspect's name released this afternoon and the officer's name.
How about the charges?
We have to see what the charges are. We don't have anything right off the top of my head right now. The DA and the investigating team will put that together later on today.
In terms of the machete, was there also a gun found on the suspect?
We have not found a gun on the suspect or on the scene. He called 911, said he was armed with a gun and a machete, and that he wanted the police to respond, and he was waiting for officers. As a matter of fact, because we had set up a containment, one of the things that he was doing with the actual hostage negotiator, saying, "Where are the cops? I don't see you guys. Where are you guys? You guys didn't get here." And the hostage negotiator was telling him, we're here, we're just here to help you. We need you to just calm down," trying to calm the man down. Shortly after that, he sees the REACT team with the Bearcat coming up the street. He says, "Oh, I see them now. And then he, as the REACT team is approaching with the Bearcat to cover, the subject states to the hostage negotiator, "Watch this." Hostage negotiator says, "Watch what?" And that, unbeknownst to the hostage negotiator, next thing you know, he's bringing up his right arm, in which we believe he had a machete, with the blade secreted upward towards the body, towards the armpit, and the handle in his hand. And within seconds, the hostage negotiator heard the SWAT team just broadcast shots fired. And so, based on everything we know so far, it appears that the subject was actually trying to get the kind of reaction he got from the police department, which was to engage in a deadly force encounter. Unfortunately for us and our officer that fired that shot, he was forced to do that with the subject feigning he's coming up with a gun and claiming to have a gun. Again, we have not found a gun on the scene, a firearm. We do have a machete that we recovered on the scene, and the investigation's ongoing.
Chief, I was just curious because he didn't have a gun. Is it protocol still to shoot because he had a deadly weapon, or since he didn't aim a gun at them?
You have to remember that this happened in the hours of darkness. The subject claimed to have a gun the entire time. Was indicating from the beginning that he had a gun and that he intended to go around this neighborhood being up to no good. And he did have an item in his right hand, you know that, which he believed it ends up being a machete, secreted upwards with the handle of his hand. So keep in mind that the officers knew as they approached him, in their mindset, from the use of deadly force, it's all about reasonable state of mind, right? What would a reasonable officer do is the standard required by law and by policy. And when the man is self-identifying and claiming to be armed with a gun, and you have something dark in a man's hand, and you add that it's hours of darkness, it's a pretty tough situation for the officers. They don't have x-ray vision, or we don't have superpowers cameras where we can actually zoom in with the naked eye. So it's a tough set of circumstances. I'm just very, very grateful that despite what appears to be this man's attempt to have officers use deadly force on him, that he is going to be okay, that he is stable, that he has gone through surgery, and that there will be no loss of life.
Last question.
Odom Elementary School.
You've already had one. Anybody else before I go back to you? Okay. Nobody else has a question.
Is Odom Elementary School, are classes resuming there as normal?
I think school's out. I'm not sure if they have.
That's true, yeah.
I'm not sure there's any summer classes there, but there really is no reason to not resume classes. I will say that the school district police, when we got the call, they started using their cameras and their system trying to locate the suspect on the school grounds. But again, he was never engaged by the police department in the school ground. He was actually walking in the neighborhood. He actually jumped the fence while we were here, and until he was actually located by the SWAT team, and he engaged the SWAT team in what appears to be an attempt to be shot at by the police officers.
And no one.
Thank you.
No, they were sheltered in place. 1,500 homes were contacted via reverse 911 during this incident, and they were asked to shelter in place until the conclusion of the incident. So I want to just thank the neighborhood for their patience.